and welcome to Eat These Words. This week I'm going to be doing a few single serving recipes, mainly dessert orientated, but one or two savoury ones as well. I hope you enjoy them as much as we do, but for now, let's get into this. Now, the first thing to remember about single serving cookery, well, cookery of most sorts really, is you need measuring spoons. So, get yourself a set of measuring spoons. Yeah, get yourself a set of good measuring spoons because you're going to need them. If your proportions are off slightly, then your cake isn't going to work. Savoury, not too bad, but certainly with baking. It's a science, baking, and we need things to react in the right manner. Therefore, we need the correct measurements. So get yourself some good serving spoons. Also as well, I would recommend getting yourself some decent products. It is one serving, therefore you can use basic self-raising flour and basic margarine, but if you don't like the taste of that flour or that margarine, it's going to ruin it for you. So stick with what you like, stick with what you know, and stick with what you find tasty. Okay, a couple of good tips in there for you. So for now, let's see our first recipe. Okay, so for chocolate mug cake, what I'm going to do is add 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder, along with 4 tablespoons of self-raising flour. 1, sort of nearly quite, there we are. 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of self-raising flour, 1 tablespoon of caster sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, not soda, powder, and then mix all those dry ingredients together. And make sure you've got your cocoa powder evenly distributed throughout your mixture. Don't want any lumps lying in there, and if you do see any, just give it a push against the side of your cup. Once you've done that, it's time to add 1 tablespoon of a light oil. Any light oil, so an oil that doesn't carry a flavour of any sort. So just measure it as we go. So that one is sunflower oil, I believe. So that's 1 tablespoon of that, along with 4 tablespoons of any milk that you have. This is semi, which I believe the Americans call half and half. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, and then mix to combine them all together. So we want a nice even paste. It might be slightly runny, that's good, because it'll keep your cake moist. So give it a good stir, make sure you get right down to the bottom. Give your spoon a bit of a bang, because you need to get rid, see this bit here, this is flour, you need to get rid of that off there, because it'll create, see, it'll create a pocket of flour within your cake, which you don't want. Nobody likes to eat flour, do they? Okay, so when you've done that, give it another quick shufty. And the next thing you're going to do, now this is optional, that's your basic mug cake. What you need to add now is you can add chocolate chips, about a tablespoon of peanut butter, or in my case I'm going to be adding Nutella. So a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of Nutella. So I'm going for the easy option, and I'm going for a heaped teaspoon of Nutella because I am that way inclined. And just let it drop into the middle. Now all you need to do is microwave this for 1 minute in your hottest setting on your microwave. I'll be back in a minute. So this is my 1 minute chocolate mug cake. It's just come out the microwave, and as you can see, it's rose quite dramatically. So if you dig in, don't know if you can see, I'm digging down where the Nutella was, and I'll try and show you inside here. Ooh, it's hot. Look at that. And if you just lovely, totally cooked through, light and fluffy. Recommend, really recommend that. Next is our single serving cheese scone. It's taken me a bit to get this right. We start with 4 tablespoons of self-raising flour. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and to that we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, or a pinch of salt. So about that much. To that we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of mustard powder going in. 1/2 teaspoon, so 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking powder. 1 egg yolk, just the yolk, not the egg white. If you do get a little bit of egg white, that's not the end of the world. Pop that in. Move that to one side. Then what we need is 1/2 tablespoon of oil. So that's 2 teaspoons to the uninitiated. Ooh, there's 1, 2. And then some grated cheese. In this instance, I'm using cheddar cheese. So we need about a tablespoon of cheddar cheese. So not that much goes in. It's up to you. You can put a little bit more in if you wish. And then taking a fork, blend it all together. Okay. And when you get to a stage where you feel you can get in there, which is starting to get there, that's quite clumpy for me, I would get your hand in there. Oops. Pop that to one side and just bring it together as you would normally. And just squeeze it and push it, squeeze it and push it. And if it's a little bit dry, which this may well be, add a tablespoon of milk. So 1 tablespoon of, oops, can you see? 1 tablespoon of milk. Well, actually that's just under a tablespoon to be fair. But add the milk until it feels like it's gonna be together, and then just, okay. And when you've got it all pushed together, like you would normally, you should have a dough ball. Now I've found the best way of cooking these into a shape that you want. So we've pressed it into a scone shape. Don't press too hard. I'm not pressing, I'm just moulding. Okay? And once it's like this, you just need to cover a plate with baking parchment, so, and place your scone on top. And then we're going to microwave it for 1 minute in the microwave. Okay, and this is what it looks like when it comes out of your microwave a minute later. As you can see, it does look like a scone. What we're going to do now is just pop it in half, leave it to set for a minute, of course. This is still scorching hot. And I'm going to put it in the toaster until it's lightly toasted. So my scone's been in there now for a couple of minutes. I'm going to take it out. Basically the toaster's doing what the oven would generally do. And I'm going to butter it and taste it for you. This is my cheese scone. Let me see what it tastes like and I'll tell you if it's any good or not. Definitely a cheese scone. Definitely cheesy. Crispy on the outside, nice and fluffy in the middle. If you want to make one just for yourself and nobody else and don't want to eat a whole 8 or 9 of them, definitely give it a try. It's worth it. On to the next one. So, for my blueberry mug cake, you need 4 tablespoons of self-raising flour. 1. These have to be level tablespoons, by the way, guys. 2. 3. 4. And to that we're going to add 1 tablespoon of caster sugar. There you go. Give that a mix. And add to it a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Then give that a mix. Okay. Next we're going to add 1 tablespoon of oil. Neutral oil, of course, we don't want to taste the oil. Sorry, a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. There you go. You can put more in if you wish, but it can overpower. And then 3 tablespoons of milk of choice. That's 1, 2, 3. And all you need to do is give it a mix and just go easy on it, go slowly to start off with. Don't want to overdo it, but we do want to get rid of any lumps that are in there or any big mounds of flour. So scrape your spoon down. Just to make sure you get rid of any bits of flour that are sitting around. And pop into there. Well, I'm going to pop blueberries in because, as I've said already, it's a blueberry mug cake. But you can pop in whatever you want. Raspberries are nice. Bits of chunks of strawberries are nice. Just whatever you want. Give it a quick swish. And pop it in the microwave for 50 seconds. And this is what it looks like when it comes out. So, if I just delve in here, you can see, if I can show you, all that lovely deliciousness. It's lovely, light, fluffy. And the blueberries are hot. Yeah. Look at that cake. Light and fluffy. Really nice. I tell you what I usually do with these. She's just throwing it around. I usually take it out of the microwave and put cold, ready to serve custard on top and eat it like that. Believe me, delicious. There we go. Okay, so to make a single serving banana bread, you need 5 tablespoons of flour, and self-raising flour is the best one for this. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 tablespoon of sugar. I'm using caster sugar. Now you can reduce this because bananas are fairly sweet in themselves, but you do need sugar to cause the reaction with the fats, which I'm about to put in a moment. I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. This is to counteract the issues that we're going to have with the banana, because the banana in itself will just cause the flour not to work as well as it could do. So give it a stir. I want it nicely mixed together. Okay. Make a little well in the middle. And what we're going to add is a tablespoon of vegetable oil. Any light oil would do, it's quite okay. A quarter teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is optional, you don't need to use it if you don't want to, but I like the flavour it gives out. You know me and if you watch any of my videos, vanilla goes in everything. And a small amount of banana. I freeze my bananas, it's about the length of my thumb. I'm just going to defrost it, so bear with me a moment. You could use ripe bananas, about a thumb's length is more than enough. And when it's defrosted, just pop it in. I'm going to smush that in a moment, along with 2 tablespoons to start off with of milk. This is semi-skimmed milk. We're starting with 2 because sometimes, depending on the banana, it can be wet, sometimes it can't, it'll be different. You just need to be able to get it to look like a cake dough, which is similar. Something needs a little bit more milk in there, so we'll put another 1 in and then mix it in. So that's 3 tablespoons of milk. Of course, as well, if you've listened to any of my videos, you'll know that depending on where you live, the humidity, etc., will depend on how your flour reacts. Okay, when you've done that, it's time to add either some chocolate chips, fudge pieces are good, peanut butter's good if you want to drop little bits of peanut butter in there. I'm going to be adding dark chocolate chips because I like them. So we're going to do a tablespoon and a bit of chocolate chips. Okay, give it a little mix, just turn it over until they're evenly distributed, and then we're going to pop it in the oven for 60 seconds on the highest setting that you've got. So this is what it looks like when it comes out of the microwave. And just to have a quick dig in, oh, look at that, there you go. And that is my banana bread. Chocolate chip banana bread in a mug. Enjoy!